What's good, superstars? Back with another VeVe video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar NFT Flenny in the building. How's it going, NFT Flenny?
It's going. Hold on, got beat you up real quick.
He threw in the end there. I kind of tried to get him early. I asked him a question, went in with the punches, but he rebounded. He got me back.
No one plays defense. Everyone is just going. Everyone's going for the knockout punch. You got to protect yourself too.
My fists are hurting, man. I was just bouncing off those forearms. Fantastic strategy right there. Guys, if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Hit that subscribe button down below. You can also hit the bell notification. You'll know whenever we post content like this. The last couple days and then the next couple days, we're going to be posting with all types of creators in the VeVe and the NFT space. Shout out to NFT Flenny, who's here today, helping us out and covering for Rob, who's on his honeymoon still. But really, really appreciate you coming on and helping out the channel. We also got the Superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Hit the join button below the video. You get some badges next to your name. We have Disney mini brand giveaways that we run every so often. There's a bunch of stuff, merch, first access to merch whenever we drop that stuff. We have a star at the end of the month. We're naming a star after a VIP. So shout out to the VIPs. There's a bunch more that aren't on this list because I haven't had time today to put them in, but you guys will get in. I showed you guys off yesterday. So guys, thank you very much for all the support, all the love. We also have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can follow us there. We have a Discord. Link is in the description. We have a PO box if you want to send us stuff. There's so much things. The intro is getting so long now, guys. In the Twitter, you can find our VeVe account, and that's how you can follow us. But more importantly, you guys can find my friend here, NFT Flenny, on his YouTube channel. He's on Twitter as well, answering all your questions. And he just hit 3K subscribers. So congratulations for doing that. And he's been in the game for a while. So why don't you give the people a rundown of your journey, how you found VeVe, and what made you start doing content?
Okay, so how I found VeVe was, well, first I got into cryptocurrency. I first found out about it, started investing in it in 2017. And, I was a noob back then, and I was like really excited about it. And it ended up being like the high of that bull run, basically. So then I got my feet wet, but I didn't really, I didn't make too many good moves. And then when things started picking up again, I think it was like the start of 2020, right? Around that time, crypto started doing well again. So since I already had like a base knowledge, base understanding, I already had like some experience, I wanted to get in before it went crazy again. So then I got into it. I was just doing research. And then I saw the creator of Litecoin, Charlie Lee. He was tweeting like NFTs will be like the next bull runs like version of DeFi this time around. Like basically it's gonna be like the next major technological shift in crypto that he thought was gonna blow up. So then I was trying to be ahead of the game. So I was like, okay, like let me research NFTs. So I got into that. And then I'm not sure which video it was. It was just some random NFT video, but I saw someone like comment on that video and they were like, oh, I'm going with the OMI token. Like they have the creator of Pokemon, which like that wasn't true. They were referring to Alfred Kahn, but I was like, creator of Pokemon, like what cryptocurrency project like has Pokemon? So then, obviously they don't have it yet, but it led me to VeVe. And then like when I went on the website, I saw Batman, I saw like Cartoon Network, I saw NFLPA, I saw all these crazy licenses. And like in crypto, you don't see too many like partnerships like that with like real world established companies. It's all very speculative. It's all very, companies don't always like to associate themselves with that sort of thing. So when I saw all these major brands, all this major IP with a crypto project, to me, it seemed like a no-brainer. And I just went all in. And the more I learned, just the more I fell in love and the more excited I got about it. And so I was basically just researching VeVe and OMI every single day. I was on YouTube. I'm like, am I crazy or are other people also seeing how good of an opportunity this is and like how much of a shoo-in this seems like? So I just wanted to hear opinions. And then I was just telling all my friends about it. I was telling my family about it. I was talking about it all day, every day. And eventually I'm like, you know what? Like, instead of like talking their ear off, like, let me talk to people who like are like seeking this information. And just, I thought, like the community is so great, so much fun, so engaging, so supportive. So it made me feel more comfortable jumping into it. And I just thought it'd be fun. And it ended up being like one of the best things I've ever done, to be honest. Just like the connections I've made, just the creative aspect of making videos and just like stepping out of my comfort zone. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a cool experience.
No, and I've been watching you. I mean, before we started doing any content, I mean, when did you start doing YouTube?
July 2021.
And you were in VeVe for a couple of months at that point, I assume, right?
Yep, I started, like, my account got created on March 4th, but, I didn't buy anything until, like, until the Ultraman drop. I think that was the 21st.
That's still ridiculously early. So I love having the OGs on, because you guys have seen a lot. You guys have been through the cycle that a lot of us are going through for the first time right now. Might be a little bit different circumstances, but still there's things to be learned. And you guys see the title of the video. We are going to get into that about NFT Flenny's new strategy, and he's done videos on it. You can see them here. He has a bunch of great content, and really love your stuff. It's whenever your stuff pops up, it's one of the first ones that I'm going to click to make sure that I watch it, because I always love listening to what you got to say. So honestly, really cool having you on the channel. The way that you got into YouTube is actually really similar to a lot of people that we've had on the last couple of days. It's just like you talk to your friends, and some people are like, whatever, but at least now you explained it really well. You're talking to people who are searching that information. So
right.
The community, it's been amazing. It's one of our favorite parts. And
for sure,
it just keeps impressing us every single day. So really cool that you're here, like I said. So let us go through a little bit of the Twitter news, like we always do, and then we'll get into some of the meat and potatoes. Now, this I showed yesterday. I wanted to get your take on it because you've been around. I don't know if you saw this, but this is the
I have.
Yeah, the remembering from the D23. So what do you think when you see this?
I just get so excited, and like just seeing all the little like breadcrumbs that Disney's doing, and like for us, I feel like we really get like a glimpse into the future in a way of like what's to come and what Disney's planning, because you know we're seeing how head first they've jumped into NFTs and digital collecting. Like, I mean, I say on my channel pretty much every single video, but like a company the magnitude of Disney, and like you can just imagine like their army of lawyers and like accountants and you know, like legal consultants, blah blah blah. All these people, they all agreed to like get into a very speculative, very new, like unregulated industry. So they must have great confidence in either the VeVe team or in digital collecting, or I mean both. And so like seeing this just sees, like, to me it just says that they're laying the groundwork for like the tech and just, you know, what they want their consumers to, you know, be eventually leading into. So I think this, you know, it might seem small to a lot of people, like if you're not following the space, but to me that this is huge, even though it's just,
you know. I think this is showing that Disney doesn't just want to be a part of it. They want to be a part of the way that it is developed, the way that it is shaped. Like they want to be at the forefront of this space because they see the potential, like you mentioned. So if you guys don't know, this is a recent movie or film that's dropped on Disney Plus. I think they have an app that pairs with it and literally creates a scenery in your living room. So it's almost foreshadowing of AR. And I brought it up yesterday, but it's like, I think VeVe, they don't have to be isolated into collectibles. They could probably potentially pair with people and do experiences. So something that you watch, like we did a video once, and it was VeVe will be the next blockbuster, and it's because we read into their white paper and they were talking about videos and music and all this stuff. So imagine that they do something like this, and you can rent that. You can rent it for $5. You go show your friends, like, oh, look at this film. Come over, bring your AR glasses, and we'll watch it.
Right. Yeah, that's how like compared to like going to the movies, you know, like that'd be cheaper, more immersive.
Yeah.
And yeah, like going back to Disney real quick, like their whole thing is like creating an experience, creating the theatrics, the feeling.
Yeah.
So like this plays in like what VeVe could do with augmented reality, virtual reality, just like you're saying, the whole experience. I think that's a great point. And they're like the leaders in that. That's their main.
Exactly. And that's what they say in, if not this video, but they have a little preview that they did at D23. And in that, they talk about how they're making the experience magical, like in your living room, like changing the game. Right now, they make them use iPads. They make them use the phones because we don't have the hardware yet. But eventually, this is just giving you a taste. Like, this gets me excited. So I know we talked about it yesterday, but we have to talk about it again. Shout out to Dino. I was on his stream yesterday after our video. And you guys can go check that video. It was a fun conversation. And Rob is in Italy, and he's sending pictures of his Blue and Beta at the Amalfi Coast. Can you believe it? So
that is so sick.
He has stayed in touch with you guys. So make sure you guys go say hi to Rob on that post. You got 38 likes, 5 comments, but I don't know if people know this is Rob in Italy. So go say what up and comment on that post. I'm letting him take all those. And this one was
I'm
funny.
so jealous.
When it's 1 mint per wallet, and this is obviously Pokemon Go, but it's showing like when people are going for that Disney drop that people want to get or whatever. It's almost like you get that feeling, right?
Oh, for sure. Just
really funny.
Do whatever you can for that advantage.
Exactly. So that was our Twitter. VeVe put out a couple things today. They were talking about the promo codes. So they finally gave some light on how it's going to work. I think Alex even went on my collectibles channel and he was talking about it a little bit. But it sounds like you put in your promo code after the drop time, if I'm understanding it right, and then you have 7 days, or you have 7 days to put your promo code in, and then it'll let you hit the buy now and get the blind box pop up. And the rest of them are free game for anybody else going for those 6,000. Is that how you understand it?
Yeah, that's how it sounds. Like they're giving you like a week-long period. And they have like, a set amount. I mean, I'm assuming it'd be the 10,000, right? They have the 10,000 that you can access for a week. I guess it's, to give people time if they're not on the app every day, they can still claim it without needing to be super, plugged in all the time. But what do you think is going to happen if people don't claim it? You think they're just going to release it to the public, or?
I think so. I think that's going to be like, it's going to be almost like you're going to have a double drop time, right? So you're going to have that drop time where you hit the buy now and you're competing for those 6,000. And then 1 week later at that exact time again, because that's the 1 week mark, whatever wasn't claimed is going to be free game for people to hit the buy now again. So people are going to get rebounds like a week later. It's going to be crazy.
New record, new VeVe record of longest rebound.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have said anything. We should have just went for it. But I don't know. Like to see what people think in the comments about that. And it sounds like one of the biggest glitches of the web app might have finally been figured out. I don't know.
Thank goodness.
I haven't seen it, but an issue preventing some people from logging in the web app has been identified. Those affected should reset their password either on web or mobile app one more time to resolve the issue. So it sounds like that glitch. I don't know if you've got it. I think I got it a couple times. You try to log in and you can't hit the confirm button.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen to me personally, but I've seen just countless people saying it, like they can't get in. So I'm happy for everyone that this is resolved.
Yeah, it was on certain browsers or certain computers. It wasn't on everything, so it was weird. But I know that a lot of people weren't even using the web app. I think VeVe OG, he was on the channel yesterday. He just like completely quit using the web app. Every time he logged in, he had to change his password. So he's like,
oh yeah, that has to be so frustrating.
Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that is fixed. We got a drop. I mean, we've been waiting like 5-6 days to get announced. But first appearance of Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider. I don't know how familiar you are with this. I hear that he's like the new Ghost Rider. Johnny Blaze is the original, and then this is the new one, I think.
I'm honestly the wrong person to ask that question.
That's why we got some help for this one. Shout out to Marvelous Pax if you don't know of his channel, but he's really big into Marvel. He's always giving us information in the comments, but he sent me a DM, so I'm gonna pull up his video. It might be a little low, so you might have to raise your speaker volume a little bit, but we got 50 seconds of explanation about the new comic coming out. So let me pull that up here for you guys, and let's hear what he has to say.
Marvelous Pax here with my 30 seconds of VeVe Comics. Let's go. Superstars, y'all already know I'm here to back you up, and my pick for the comic is the uncommon for Ghost Rider #1, first appearance of, obviously we got the East LA Rider getting, the mantle of the Ghost Rider. It's a cool book, not worth a lot in the physical world, but that Scotty Young uncommon variant, that's the one I want to be stacking on after the market opens on drop. I'm not as excited about this book, but best believe those Scotty Youngs, really cool. Anyway, this is Marvelous Pack, going a little above 30 seconds, but I'm out. Thanks, Superstars. Peace.
So that was pretty awesome. I mean, I didn't know that much about the book, and I actually didn't even realize that there was a Scotty Young variant. So
yeah,
I should have looked a little bit closer. So here you go. Let me pull that up again. But right here, you got the Scotty Young. That actually is pretty clean.
Yeah, that is pretty sick. Scotty Young has such a cool style, like very unique, and like you can tell it's him. I'm blanking on the word for that, but he has a great unique style.
Has literally a comic style, like you would see in the newspaper or whatever, right? So
exactly.
I mean, there are people who will be collecting just Scotty Young variants, I think, because he's just like you said, he's got his own style. He brings something different. I do like, actually. Oh, there are the ultra rare and the rare look like they're similar. Just one's a black and white version. Kind of a cool cover as well. Looks like he's looking in a mirror or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that Marvelous Pack is bang on. I think the uncommon is going to be one that people would want, even if the book's not too crazy. People love that artist.
Yeah, man. Thank goodness for the comic book experts in the community, because man, I'd be so lost without them. I just gotta say thank you to all you guys out there who help us out with that stuff.
For sure. So honestly, yeah, exactly. If anyone else has any input that you guys want to put, I know there's El Champ, I know there's Laura M in the comments, always helping us with Marvel reviews and stuff like that, because I'm not big time into Marvel. Rob's watched a little bit more than me, but you guys always blow the doors off when we read the comments, and that's how we learn. That's how we decide a lot of the time if we're going for drops. I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
You get the same type of thing over on your channel. So.
Oh yeah. Comments and cryptos list. That's really my holy grail of deciding what's worthwhile. You know, what I should be stacking or not, that kind of thing. Yeah. There's.
I love that we have so many creators too like that. Like you got Sleeping Comics, you got Comics and Crypto, and they bring different opinions. Sometimes they're not exactly bang on, but it lets you think, like maybe you like something a little bit better than Sleeping Comics does, and then you go and you confirm it by looking at Comics and Crypto's list. You're like, you know what? Yeah, see, I'm happy, and then it gives you that reassurance. So,
yeah, the extra perspective, and then you can kind of decide for yourself. Okay, I'm not sure if I don't see it panning out that way, but blah blah blah, and then you can kind of go for your decide for yourself.
Exactly. So what did you think about the recent Disney drop and the utility and how it was played out? I mean, we've had countless discussions on this. We've had back and forth with the community. Were you a fan? What were you a fan of? What weren't you a fan of? What did you think?
So I'm actually working on a video covering just this that will hopefully come out tonight. But I'll just go over kind of the same things that I'll be talking about in that. But so when I first heard the announcement and like what it would be, I was so hyped, and I was just thinking like how cool it was that Disney would do, you know, utility, do an airdrop, because we haven't seen hardly any airdrops or utility from anybody, not even that many small artists or small companies, that kind of thing. So going from to like the top dogs doing it, I thought was really exciting, and it lays the groundwork, like kind of like the AR AR thing coming out of the TV. Like to me, I see those things very in a very similar way, that they're laying the groundwork for what's to come, and this is just the beginning. So when I first heard the announcement, I loved it for that reason. And then after the drop, as it sounds like a large portion of the community also thinks, then it kind of felt like it just, part of it didn't feel right having like who got the airdrop, and especially like with how long the gold moments have been going on. Like I know that, you know, like that's what got you into it. So, you know, it's been like almost a year now, and this is the finale. And so for people who have been like holding it for almost a year to like get nothing to kind of cap it off, that was, you know, kind of hurt a little bit. But there's a perspective that I haven't heard talked about. That's kind of the other side that I kind of wanted to touch on today. But I was thinking that like these companies who are giving out the airdrops, I mean, they honestly, they probably don't want collectors to be the ones who get it, because they get royalties on every single transaction. And so like not only the royalties, but you know, if you can bring out 10,000 people who have not been buying any drops for the last 6 months, if you bring them out for that one drop, in their eyes, from a business perspective, that's a success. You're bringing on new people who wouldn't have bought it otherwise. And then not only that, you know, if the people who don't want to hold it, if they get it, they flip it, they're making money on their flips. And so like if they would have said, oh, hold it for a week and then we'll airdrop something to you, people are going to be holding it for that week. You know, they're going to be holding on for dear life. So they'll be making no royalties on that. So like from a collector's perspective, I definitely see like why it hurts and why it sucks. But like from a strictly business, like profit perspective, I see why they don't want to do that. And I just think that might be the route a lot of companies go. And we might have to just keep that in our minds, that like where they're coming from and where we're coming from, and that our interests may conflict in that sense. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you're bang on. I think that that's a little bit to do with it, that Disney probably saw opportunity. They knew that a lot of people who landed it would sell it, and they'd get that secondary rake. I do think that even if you have some holders, like somebody put it really well, I forget who I was watching, but they said that collectors are just long-term flippers. So they hold it and then they sell it down the line, and then the flippers just sell it right away. So it was funny that was said. The other thing is that Alex is watching him talk as well, like I mentioned earlier, and he put it out there, and it sounds like he's been listening to the community. He's been listening to the creators. I had Patient Hodler on. He was frustrated with his experience. For me, my wife hit it. It was like I'm impartial. I do prefer when the collectors are a little bit, or when it's like kind of a surprise. Not that it's collector based, but I like the surprise because it just means like it's like thank you. It's like a thank you. VeVe saying thank you, but at the same time, I do appreciate that Disney's doing utility. To me, that's even bigger. So whoever gets it, to me, whatever. There's always that option to get into it in secondary if you really want it. And the Mickey drop, you still have a chance at it, even if you didn't get the utility. So it's nothing really, really crazy.
Yeah.
But Alex, he talked about it today, and he said that like we're listening to the community and there may be some retroactive utility. I thought that was huge. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody else talking about it yet, but he said there might be some retroactive utility, and in the same sentence of talking about Disney. So we don't know. Maybe they are listening, and maybe they talk to Disney and they're like, you know what? A lot of people who have been putting their money into your project are really upset. Maybe we can do something for them. Speculation, speculation might not happen. But if anybody else heard what I heard, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. And the good news is that like this is just the first one, and like they're trying to get their bearings. They're trying to learn just like we are. You know, no one knew what the community reaction would be, or you know exactly how it would be perceived. So you know they can correct course or do whatever they got to do. And you know I'm sure they'll have some utility if you land it, and you'll have some utility or airdrops. I mean, if you're holding, I'm sure they'll mix it up. And I think like overall, I think it was a great positive for just the direction of VeVe and digital collecting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I mean, they're listening to the community, which is something that you don't really get from these companies that have been successful and done well. I mean, they continue to show that they've heard us, and just really bullish on that conversation that he had today. The other thing is, you mentioned a little bit, we're going to talk about it, but the FE, the FAs, you're mentioning something about a conversation with one of your friends. Why don't you get into that a little bit?
Okay, yeah. So a while ago, at the time that the Disney lenticular cards were dropping, I have this buddy who's a financial advisor, and I invest with him a little bit. And he's more into like the stocks, like traditional investing, but he dabbles a little bit in like crypto and NFTs. But he's very he comes up from a finance background, so when it comes to those really speculative investments, he's very conservative and wants to know everything, and he's not just throwing his money around all willy-nilly. So I was trying to explain things to him, and I was telling him why I thought that he should get this lenticular card set. And so he would just ask me some questions. And so he was on the app, and he's like, oh, how come these say FE and not FA? Because I was telling him that they're the first ever times that these characters came out. And I was, explaining the whole rundown, which by the way, this is not really the point, but I just gotta say that I think they could have done the labels way better. Like so in my opinion, it's really convoluted, and like and they changed it halfway through, and it's hard to keep up with. But anyway, he was saying like that he didn't want them anymore because they had FE, and he's like, so can there be like just a ton of FEs, but there'll only be one FA? And at that point, I had never thought about that. I'm like, oh, I guess you're right. If there's like a different type of series that comes out with Goofy, there'll be another FE Goofy because it's not a lenticular card set. And so from that point, he was like, I only care about FA. I don't care about FE. Just show me the FAs that you like. And so that was from someone who's not plugged in, is not like in on VeVe all the time. They just hear about it every so often from me. And so that was his perspective. I thought that was interesting. And it really made me rethink how I'm going to be prioritizing those types of things.
Yeah. So we've done a video 6 months ago. Sell all your VeVe collectibles before this happens. And this
there you go. You guys called it.
We called the lenticular sale, and this is 6 months ago, guys. This is like March or April, whatever 6 months ago is. And it was because of the exact points that you just made. It was, now you can have multiple FEs. So to us, it takes away a little bit of the aura of being the first.
Definitely.
People will know. There will be those people who look into what was the first thing dropped, and the lenticular cards will have that value because a lot of those characters were the first time dropped. I don't know if you've noticed though, a lot of the things coming out that have been FE have not been character based recently at all. So yeah. I feel like they're staying away from the characters on these FEs now, just because
that's where it gets even more weird, because it's like, okay, it's the character, but it's not like the statue format. It's just they're on a card, but it's like it's still the character. It's really weird. It's really confusing. But
so this was a great explanation from Alex. We're talking about him a lot today, but FE is based on the work, not the character. For example, if Goofy lenticular cards come out, they will not be FE, but a movie poster, for example, would be FE. So if you see the character on a poster or on a hat or on any type of other medium that's not a statue, it's going to have the FE. But it might not have the FE depending on it's really, really confusing. That's
Yeah.
that's the point that we're getting at. I don't know how important it will be down the line. And I think that's an entirely new video that we'd have to get into and think about like how important they might be, like how much people are going to be willing to pay for them if the system is so broken.
Yeah, because I mean, like those are they're FE, but they're also the first appearance, like not in VeVe's definition, but they are the first appearance on the blockchain. So like in that case, it's kind of it has more weight to it. But like, yeah, for future FEs, it's like, okay, it's FE, but it's the 50th time we've seen that character. Like, are people going to care? You know?
Yeah, no, you're right, 100%. And people get into it even with comics, like first appearance of things on the comics, does that count? And a lot of people are of the opinion that it doesn't, but like,
I don't subscribe to that one, to be honest, because it's I mean, because I threw in like a little joke in like one of my videos. I'm like, oh, it's like, and you open like the Marvel 1 comic and it's like FA door, FA tree, FA, you know, could be like you could say everything that's within the comic book is the first appearance. So like to me, it's just like it's the book itself, and that's how I view it. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting because it's gonna be like how do like normies, how do they see it when they come in? You know, like we're all blockchain tech savvy. You know, how are people with none of that knowledge, like what are they going to see as the first? Because perception is a reality a lot of times, so that's going to be what's important. It's hard to predict.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, and if they do end up coming up with more character based FEs as the first edition of that character, like that's the thing that's setting people off. So maybe they've listened and they don't do that. But
it's gonna be a wild ride.
You also mentioned to me before we came on the air, and I know you've done a video on it. Actually, I want to pull that up before we get into it. But you've changed your strategy. You've been in it for a while, and you have this video here, which was one of my favorite videos from your collection. Why you need duplicates on VeVe? Why did you change your strategy to duplicates? How did your experience being in VeVe from the beginning help you come to that conclusion?
So when I started off on VeVe, I was really going hard for the Master Collector Program points, and you know, like Dan made it seem like it was coming out like in a few weeks. At that point, I think in like April, he no joke said like, oh yeah, it's a couple weeks away. Like he like said it so like nonchalant. So I'm over here just like stacking up sets, like, oh, this is the last chance, you know, like sets are gonna have value. I was trying to be ahead of the game. I thought I was getting some like you know, insider knowledge basically. But so yeah, for a lot of my VeVe time, I've just been trying to get sets, trying to get one of everything. I don't want to miss out on not having a character. And so when prices started going crazy, I only had one of everything. And, you know, I didn't want to risk the chance of selling my only Todd, my only Superman, my only Spider-Man, like, and have the chance of it keep going up. And then I could never get it again. Cause you know, like when prices were going crazy, it's, you know, like looking back on it, it's easy to say, oh, I should have sold. But like when there's so much hype, so much excitement, things have already gone 10x. Okay, like where's it going to stop? And so I didn't want to risk timing it. And so basically why I think that duplicates are so important is because it gives you that that liquidity that you may want to be able to sell, take profits, but not give up your collection, not give up what you know, think could potentially have utility in the future or have rentability in the future. Cause like that's really my main thing. I don't want to sell Walt if in 5 years I can rent him out and make my investment back, you know, in like a year or something like that. So basically I just learned that like having duplicates in order to get liquidity was really an important strategy. And I would have been so much better off now if I would have done that and sold, held on to a few gems, still have at least one or two of what I really, really want. Cause you know, I do enjoy collecting. But yeah, just be able to take profit. And like, to me, that's really the only way to truly scale up your collection as time goes on. Cause I was collecting like VeVe was going to blow up like the next day. I was honestly really nervous. I'm like, how is this not blown up? It's going to blow up. And so I was just frantically collecting, but you can't keep that up forever. You can't chase every single thing. So just really dialing in on what you really believe is the best and what have the best like return on investment or whatever it is, then that's from my experience the best overall strategy.
Guys, he's been in it a long time. He's been through a cycle. He's been through a pump. He's been through it falling off, and he could have sold like you mentioned, but instead he's recognizing that this is a second chance for him to do maybe what he didn't do the first time around that he wishes he would have done, which is literally doubling down on your investment and trying to go in on your favorite characters, your favorite FAs, I guess, whatever, because you realized as it was going up, you're like, I don't really want to sell my Todd, but I could make a lot of money here.
Exactly. And you know, like I would like be so mad at myself if I like got greedy and tried to sell it and was never able to get it back. So Yeah.
So no, that's awesome. I mean, it's great to hear from people who've been in it as early as you, because you have that feeling, and the fact that it didn't discourage you when everything came crashing down, because you've seen that before, right? So
yeah, but my vault value, seeing the difference, it's pretty tough. But like honestly, if you would have told me like a few years ago, like, oh, you would have like lost this much money on paper, I probably like would have been in tears. But like now, now I just look at it so differently, because I'm like so like forward thinking with what the project still has to offer. And like I'm not, it sucks, but like I'm not really like I'm very confident it's gonna surpass, or like the grails will surpass those all-time highs, and that we just have so much more in store for us beyond just like flipping for profit. Like we're talking about like utility, renting,
yeah.
all these kinds of things.
So no, that's awesome. I mean, really appreciate your insights, and it's making me think. Like, a lot of people have been doing this stacking job, but maybe even only 2 is a great idea, because then you can diversify a little bit more within your collection, while at the same time having that exit liquidity and some things you can sell. And on the way up, you might not hit the top, but you get some more gems for the next fall off, and you still have that piece that you might love and not want to worry about losing forever.
Exactly.
So really, really cool idea. I loved when I saw your video about it, so I definitely wanted to talk to you about it here today. I don't know what else to say for you, except I got to give you a standing ovation, just because.
Thank you.
You came in, you helped fill the void that Rob has left me, and you talked half the time.
Hashtag
so
blame
my voice,
Rob.
yeah. Hashtag blame Rob. You helped fill the void and fill my voice, so I don't have to talk the whole time. So really, really greatly appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, man, I can, once I get started talking about VeVe, it's hard to stop.
Yeah, exactly. And we got that's the best part about the community. You got all the like-minded people. We get to hear your guys' comments down below. So if you haven't already, guys, please go check out my friend NFT Flenny. Go subscribe to his channel, follow him on Twitter. Like I said, great follow. Comes out with very well thought out videos, and look at it. You inspired our video today. So thank you very much. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar. Hit that subscribe button down below. What do you think about buying 2 of everything that you like? Is it a good strategy? Is it something that you're doing? Do you like the idea of having 1 to buy, 1 to sell? I know that David Hughes mentioned it a couple of times about having 3. So what do you guys think? What's your strategy? Are you doing that? Are you stacking more than 2? I want to know everything in the comments down below. So leave us comments and let us know if you're subscribed to NFT Flenny. And if you're not, what are you doing? Go subscribe. You can also become a superstar VIP. Hit the join button down below. You get all the perks that come with that. We talked about that at the beginning of the video. And guys, we will see you in the next one. I love you. Bye.